Hey, LIMA members, this is Kevin Wilkie, Executive Director of Local Internet Marketing Association, and unfortunately Tuesday's live training webinar recording did not come out successfully, so I'm going to re-record this as a video. So today's topic is something that's extremely important as a business owner, which is having us really thinking strategically about your business and stepping back from the day-to-day commotion that's going on and looking at it from a high level of where do you need to be and how are you going to get there. And it's all about creating these 90-day strategic plans. It's like a 90-day sprint that you go on, then you step back, look at where you're at, and plan out the next 90 days that you sprint. And when you get on that 90-day rhythm and then take that strategy that you create and turn that into your weekly rhythm, your business will be far more successful and far less stressful and overwhelming. So this is what we use at both of my companies, and then also my six-figure clients that I work with. This is what I use with them to create this strategy. So currently, ask yourself, do you have a 90-day plan right now? And if you don't, then that really should be a wake-up call that you are not really treating this as a business and you're not getting the results that you're looking for, both financially and growth, and also the freedom that your business can provide you. And there's really two types of entrepreneurs that are out there. The first type are those that focus on what's most important in their business. And these people are truly a business owner, and they treat their business as a true business. And they have a clearly defined and written out strategic plan, and then a system to follow that plan. So I highlighted the important words. It's clearly defined, they can easily articulate, and then it's written out. So you can look at it, and they can look at it, and then they have put in place a system to follow that plan that they have in place. So this is how a business owner operates. Then there's the second group, and they end up focusing on what screams loudest for their attention. And these are, they might think they're business owners, but really they're just business opportunity seekers. And they're hopping from one thing to another, and chasing the next shiny object, and they never really actually build a business. They might make some money, but it truly is not a business. And how it looks for them is they have this cloudy idea in their head of what they should be doing for the future, and they maybe have like a messy to-do list on a post-it note, on a notebook, on their computer, on this whiteboard, scattered all over the place of what they should be doing maybe as far as next week. And that's what their planning looks like. And you can see the stark difference between the two groups. So ask yourself right now, which group are you? Are you a 1 or a 2? And be very honest and real with yourself and authentic. And if you're a 2, then again, it's a wake-up call that you absolutely are not going to get the results you're looking for. And what I'm going to show you in the rest of this training will dramatically move you forward in the right direction into this first group. It's something that is critical if you want to truly be successful in this business, is you got to do some strategic planning. And I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how we do it, and I'm going to give you the templates so you can do it too. All right, so that's the immediate solution. Create a 90-day plan, and that's what we're going to do. And by the time you're done, you're going to know exactly how to do it, and you're going to schedule into your calendar when you're going to create your own 90-day plan. And it will be such an exhilarating experience. You're going to leave with such clarity and direction that you've never had before. So these are the components that are part of your 90-day plan, and then I'm going to walk you step by step exactly how to do each component. So first is you want to set aside 3 to 4 hours of focus time just working on this. And you want to have no interruptions. So you're probably going to have the internet turned off during that time, no phone calls, no meetings, no nothing. And be in a creative place. So maybe it's finding some place outside of your normal working environment to go do this. It really leaves you inspired to be planning and thinking about your business. So the first step is you're going to look back at what has happened in the past to capture all the lessons learned from the past that you can move forward with. Then you're going to look at all the key metrics in your business to see where is it actually at right now. And then after looking back in the past, you're going to figure out what does the future ideally look like. And 90 days out, you're going to write out what would the ideal outcome be in 90 days from now. And then once you write out what the ideal outcome would look like, you're going to ask yourself, what are the rocks, so the major projects that need to happen, or the major initiatives that need to happen to take place over the 90 days to get you to that ideal result. And then for each of these major rocks projects, what are the milestones that you will need to hit to achieve that rock? And then you'll have your actual 90-day plan that you're going to follow. And now you want to make sure you stay strategically thinking moving forward. So it's not just creating a plan and then setting it aside and never thinking about it until 90 days from now. It's creating that plan and then following that plan, checking in and week out to ensure that it becomes a reality. And 90 days out, that ideal result that you wrote out that just sounds amazing actually comes true. And when you get on that rotation, in 6 months from now, especially a year from now, you will not recognize the business you have. It will be so much further along, such more high performing, and such more greater sense of freedom and accomplishment for yourself. So here's an actual template that you can go and download. Let me show you what it looks like right here. This is a Google Doc template that just go under File, and then where is it at? Make a copy, and then you can save this directly to your own Google Drive. So you can follow along the rest of this video through these components, and I'm going to be switching back and forth between the slides and this. Alright, so the first section is you're going to look back over the previous period of time. So if you're doing this ongoing, it's going to be for the past 90 days. If this is your first time to do it, then you're going to have to decide what that period of look back is. Maybe it's from the time that you started this business, or maybe it's from a specific a point in time, or whatever that period of time is. Decide that, and you're going to then look back and look at a couple of major things. So these next sections I'm going to take about, you can either look at it as a whole, or you can ask yourself, what worked in my strategy? What worked in my systems and processes? What worked in my operations? So you can either, if you're having a hard time coming up with answers for these questions that you're going to ask, you can look into each of these different categories and ask the question for each of these categories. So you can either just kind of use it as free flow brainstorming or get more specific with these categories. So the first question you ask is, over the past period of time, what worked? And you want to capture those lessons learned so you know to keep doing those and you don't forget to do them. And then also, what didn't work? Or what would you want to be doing differently than what you're doing right now? And this is the areas that you want to create change or transformation, or that needs to be different from moving forward. A third question is, what consumed most of your time, most of your attention, and most of your frustration? And these are areas that, if you can really make a difference in one or more of these areas, it would really make an impact in the business. Because you're freeing up more of your time, more of your mental attention and focus, and eliminating a lot of that frustration that you're experiencing. So let me show you what that looks like in here. So first you set the date, and then you can either do a free flow, so you just type out some things, type up some more things, or I showed you a different thing is where it's broken down into the major categories. And you ask, well, what works in strategy? And you're going to type some things out. Or what's some areas I can improve our strategy in, and type those things out. So either way works fine. I just wanted to show you two options. And then here, what consumed most of your time, attention, and frustration? And you just brainstorm there. Then the next thing you're going to do is look at the quarters from the previous, or the rocks from the previous quarter. If this is your first time doing it, you're going to skip this. But once you start doing this, you're going to review the rocks that you set for last quarter. You're going to ask yourself, did you accomplish them or not? And to say yes, you accomplished it, it has to be 100% completed as outlined. If it's 99% or less accomplished, then it's going to be a no. There's no, just like getting pregnant, there's no partially pregnant. You're either yes, all in, or no. And then your goal is to have 80% or greater of the rocks completed, an 80% success rate. because these are not aspirational goals that you set for yourself. These are intentions of what you're going to accomplish. So you want to get really good at becoming very realistic of what can we realistically do, and then you go out and actually do that. So if you keep having failing over and over again, then that's a sign that you're not accurately predicting the short-term future. And just to know, starting out, you're going to overestimate what you can accomplish in 90 days. And you're going to learn how to scale it back to make it realistic. And then gradually over time, you're going to be really good at predicting this. So here is what it looks like in the document is you're going to have all your previous rocks and their milestones from the previous quarter. You just copy and paste it into this new one. And then you're going to check off, like we just do yes, green, no, red. And for the rock, so in this one, all the milestones are done. That means the rock was done. In this one milestone was not done, so that means the rock was not done as well, despite that some of the milestones were done. And then you're going to grade. So let's say we had 4 out of 7, so 57%. And then you're going to ask yourself, well, why was it below? Like, what caused some of these rocks to not happen? And again, you're learning from the past so you can be better moving forward. Also, identify, were there any unplanned rocks or projects that came up, that major things that showed up during the quarter that took a significant amount of time and focus that were unplanned for. So again, you can learn from that. So maybe halfway through you got a malware attack and your server was infected with malware, and then you spent all this time dealing with trying to clean that up and everything else, and got completely disrailed. If you knew going into the quarter that was going to happen, then that would have been a rock that you would have had on there, but you didn't know it was going to happen, so it wasn't on there. And invariably, as you start out, there's going to be things that happen because they either show up and they were unplanned for, or maybe you got distracted, like something, this new shiny object showed up, and then you went and chased that and did that, and it became this whole rock that caused all these like 3 or 4 other projects to not happen. And you're going to learn what your reality actually is, so then you can really make a big difference in the future, thinking more strategically and not get trapped with your old ways of doing things. So now that you've done the 5 look-back questions or components, you're going to then look at all that work that you just did, all the things that you've written down, and start highlighting the areas that really stand out. Like just do like a yellow highlight of the text of the areas that really stand out, like you would want to be different moving forward in this next quarter. So you capture like the key components in that. And then also what may happen is, before you can plan the next 90 days, there might be some major decisions that you have to decide, because it's 2 different paths that you would go on over the next 90 days based on that decision. So then you want to really process that, decide the pros and cons, just make that come to a decision on that. So maybe it's, are we going to launch a new service, or are we going to launch a new marketing system? Or out of these 3 different services that we could launch, which one should we launch? Or are we going to move into a new niche or not? And like all of these would have a significant impact on what that quarter would look like. But if you don't make that decision before you do the planning, then it's going to have a major, it's going to change the planning that you do. So that's unplanned rocks. Then you're going to highlight either bold or yellow. So you just like, see here, just do a little highlight of the text, a little yellow, so that it stands out. And then clarify any major decisions that are going to go on. So that is the look back, and then also you'd then look at the key metrics. So like on the revenue, how much total revenue did you have for the previous period of time? And you could even break this down into months and look at each of the month. And then also, what are the different categories that you can look at? Maybe one-time or setup revenue, or reoccurring revenue, or maybe it's different product lines. So you have a reputation product line, and a PPC management product line, and a hosting product line. So what is the revenue in those different ones? And then what were your expenses? And then at the end, what was your profit, both as a dollar amount and then a percentage of your gross revenue? And then your clients, like how many total clients do you have now? How many new clients did you generate during the past quarter? Then how many did you lose? And then based on that, what was your retention percentage of your clients? And then also, what's your average revenue per client that you have? So you know the value of a client, especially on a reoccurring basis. What's that average monthly revenue per client? And then here in a little bit, I'm going to give you a different template or document that you can use to track on a monthly basis your key metrics. So this would actually already be done for you before the quarter, before you do this review session. So that's what these are, and you can see total revenue, or we can break it down into categories, expenses, profit, and then your clients component. So now we're going to get into the fun part. You've captured all the lessons learned and everything to know about the past to really now think strategically about the future. And that's what this next one is writing your ideal result for the next 90 days. So in writing, say ideally what would you want your business to look like 90 days from now? So what you can do is look back at review all the look-back lessons you learned, all that information you put down, especially the ones that you highlight that really stand out as critical or important parts. And then you're going to write out, and then also in the those key decisions that you had to make, what were the outcomes of those key decisions. And you're going to write either like a bullet list of like a bunch of things that you'd want it to be in place. We might just write out some sentences or some paragraphs, just some way to articulate in writing what does the ideal outcome look like. And as you're doing that, don't worry about how is it going to happen. Just worry about what does it look like. Because the next step, we're going to get into the how. So don't get caught up in the how quite yet. And really focus on what you really want it to be. This is like your ideal result that you get to really set and dream about of what do you really want this next 90 days to look like at the end, and also what would create the biggest impact for you at the end of the 90 days. So then you're going to describe all that, and once you've done that, now it's time to figure out how to actually get there. And these are your 90-day rocks. And a way to look at this is, what projects do you need to complete, or areas that in the business that you need to focus on, or changes that you need to implement, or new things or processes or services or something that you need to create and have that's not there right now that needs to be there in the future, or major improvements in something that's already existing that needs to happen. And just to identify that over these next 90 days to create your ideal outcome. And so like look at your ideal outcome for ideas on what those would be. And then also look at the look back component of what are the important areas that you really need to make a difference in because of the lessons learned. So now let me explain what rocks are and how you create them. So first you're going to add a name to the rock. And again, this is like a major project or initiative or area of focus. It's going to consume a significant amount of time. So it's not like a small to-do list item. This is something that is a major focus during either all or a part of the next 90 days. So some of these might happen in a couple weeks. Some might take the entire 90 days to realistically complete. So if one is you want to, when you name it, you want to make sure there's an action verb involved, and you also have the specific measurable result of what does the outcome look like. So when it's successful, what does that success actually look like? That an outside observer can say, yes, that was achieved. So an example is, let's say your financials are just a bit of a mess, and so you want better financials. That is not how you want to describe that rock. Instead, you want to describe it as have all accounting and financial reporting completed and updated to the current month. All right, so now there's like a verb attached to that, and it's clear what the measurable result is. Well, the accounting and financial reporting is completed up. So like all your data from the past up until the previous month is in an accounting software and able to run financial reports on that data. So the next step is what would need to happen to achieve that major goal. So the milestones or steps along the way to accomplish that. Again, each one needs to have an action verb. Each one needs to be a specific measurable result. So this is the rock that we identified. So here's some of the steps along the way. Well, one, I have to identify an accounting software to use and to create an account with that accounting software. Next, we're going to have to hire a bookkeeper and then hold a kickoff call with that bookkeeper to set the right expectations and create a plan of action together moving forward of what they're going to be doing and how we're going to work together. Then that bookkeeper is going to use 1 month of data to create the chart of accounts of like how is the accounting software like actually laid out. And you're going to need to give them feedback to improve and finalize that chart of accounts. Then once that's done, they're going to update the first 3 months of the financial data, and you're going to give them feedback as they're updating that on how to properly categorize expenses and income in the right categories and all that kind of information until those 3 months are 100% complete. And then once that's done, then the bookkeeper is going to update the rest of the financial data for you, and you're going to give feedback along the way until it's 100% complete and now to the current month that you're on right now. And then last is you're going to create and implement a monthly bookkeeping reporting system with the accountant. So every single month, now the bookkeeping is up to date and they provide you the financial reports at the end of each month. So that's what success looks like to actually achieve this rock. All these different milestones or steps along the way need to be completed for this to be a success. And that is what a rock is going to look like, is the major outcome and then the steps, milestones along the way to accomplish that. So let me flip back over here. So here's your ideal vision. And then you're going to have your rocks right here. Actually, let me explain this next part. So the next thing is, for each rock, there needs to be one person responsible for it. Starting out, you might be the person for all of them. If you start to build up a team, there might be other people that are ultimately responsible for this. So at the end of the day, even if multiple people are working on it, there's one person that it's their responsibility that this gets accomplished. And they're going to have to work with other people involved to collaborate with them to make sure it gets accomplished. And then each milestone also needs one person responsible for it. Even if there's multiple people involved, one person needs to be ultimately responsible. So, and then also, when is it going to take place? So for each individual milestone, what month is that going to happen? Or it might be spread out over a couple months. So it would be the multiple months. And then what person is ultimately responsible? So here, this one is going to happen for the next 3 months, November, December, January, and Greg is the ultimate person responsible by it. So then the first rock is going to happen in November, and then Jane's going to do that. Then the next one is going to also happen in November, and then Greg is going to do that. And you see Greg's going to do all these. So like different milestones can be done by different people, ultimately responsible. That doesn't matter. And then also it might be multiple months. So here, December and January, this one's going to happen. But now you can see, like, you can look at this and actually see, like, how is this going to show up in your working life, in the business, over the next 90 days. And when you're done creating all of your rocks, you're going to then do a reality check and ask yourself, all right, so based on all this is going to happen, and now that I've kind of marked out when I'm going to do these things, or when the company's going to do these things, is this actually realistic that all this could happen? Because this does not include the day-to-day operations of your business, of what's already happening for your business to run, on the prospecting, the sales, and the service fulfillment side, and everything else. This is the projects that you're taking on to improve your business, to move it forward, to grow. So this needs to get fit in with all the day-to-day operations of your business to really make sure in 90 days you're significantly further ahead than you were before. So it's not normal day-to-day operations. This is the projects you're taking on to improve and grow your business and make it better. So let's flip over here. You want to have somewhere between 4 to 7 at most. If it's less than 4, then you might probably not trying to do enough, or you're not really, your business is probably way too hectic and scattered, and you need to bring more stability to your business. If you're trying to do more than 7, then you're probably trying to take on too much. So this is usually the range. Occasionally it might drop down to 3, or occasionally it might go up to 8, but usually this is what it looks like. And then you just, each major rock, the small independent milestones, who's doing it, and what month are they going to happen. And then at the end, you might have some notes about this, of things that you just, in doing this, that you wanted to capture. Or there might be some rocks that you wanted to do, but it just didn't seem realistic, so you moved it from the list, and you just want to save it here as like a holding tank for the future. And then last is there any, and doing all this, is there any issues that came up or new opportunities that came up that you want to process either right now or at your next, in the future weekly leadership meeting? All right. So that is the whole strategic planning session document. And once you finish your rocks, now you have a clear plan of action on what's most important over the next 90 days that you are going to make sure is going to come true. So let's talk about how to ensure that actually happens. So what you don't want to do is spend all this amazing time coming up with this awesome plan that you're super lit up and excited about, and then never look at it again until 90 days from now. So what it looks like is your weekly leadership meeting. So I did a whole training on how to do a weekly leadership meeting in the LIMA membership site that you can go back and review. And definitely follow that process, because it will make a huge impact. Again, even if you're a solo entrepreneur, you can still follow everything we're talking about. Even if your leadership meeting is just you are the only person attending. Or maybe it's you and your project manager, or you and your salesperson, or you and your business partner. It doesn't matter who's there, but the people that are there should be the leaders in your team. So would it be like you and your virtual assistant, because they're not really a leader, they're helping you, but they're not a key person that moves the company forward. So on this is, each week, when you follow the format that we use, you're going to be checking back on your rocks to make sure that you're moving forward. Each week you're going to go back and review, are we on track or off track for each one of these? Yes or no? And if no, then you're going to ask why is that, and what needs to be done differently to get it on track. You're also going to identify the major issues that are going in and actually address those week in and week out. What's the most important things that we should be focused on right now? And it ensures that each week you're also thinking strategically about your business. And you pull yourself out once a week for 90 minutes and think from a strategic basis about your business, and ensuring that that 90-day plan actually comes true. Also, there's your weekly scorecard. And I'm going to that you're checking in, that we covered in that previous training. That's the health check of like the key metrics that really matter in your business. You're looking at those each week. Are you on track or off track on your key metrics or not? So this is the past training that you can go to right here to review that, and highly recommend implementing that in your business. So then you're going to want to do this quarterly process for like one, or at least one, maybe 2 quarters, and then you're going to want to do a yearly planning session. So I did a whole half-day virtual workshop. You can get the recording right here. We follow a modified version of the entrepreneurial operating system method. That's how we run our business. From all these things we talked about come out of the EOS model, with our own little tweaks that we found works better for us. So you just go through here, and it's going to show you how to do a yearly planning session. And also highly recommend you get and follow the book Traction by Gino Wickman, which is where the entrepreneurial operating system comes from. And then last is you want to be doing a monthly financial check-in. So each month you look at the financial results of the business. And on the clients, like how many new clients did you get? How many did you lose? And then how many total do you have now? What was your revenue number for this month? And then how much did it grow or decrease from the previous month? What's your expenses for the month? And then what was your profit left over? And then what profit margin, so percentage of the gross revenue was your profit? And then also, what are your action items from that profit first? So a couple months ago, we did a whole training on the financial, like how to manage the financial side of your business, and talked about the book Profit First and how it has a different look of you're taking profit directly off the business, as well as your taxes. So let me, go back here. So yeah, here's the link to the financial training, the LIMA site that you can go back. Highly recommend reviewing that, especially if numbers and financials is not your thing. This will really demystify it for you. And then here's a template that you can use moving forward to make this a regular practice. So let me show you what that template looks like. So here you go. You have each of the months. And then you have on the clients, what was the total, how many new, how many did you lose, what was your retention? And then you just add in these these numbers, and it's automatically going to calculate it for you. The total clients are automatically going to calculate your retention percentage. And over here, you can decide how you want to do revenue. Here we have like one-time, maybe this is setup fee revenue, or a one-time job that you did for somebody. And this is a recurring service one, recurring service two. Like however, you can name these whatever you want, and you can add more columns if you want. And then it's going to total that up for you automatically. Then your expenses, total expenses minus owner's salary. So if you went through that financial training in the past training that we did for LIMA members, we talked about you need to separate out you as the employee of your business versus you as the owner of your business, because they get paid two different ways. For you, the time that you put in working on your business, you should get a salary for that. Because if you're not doing it, you'd have to pay somebody else to do it. So you really want to properly account for that. And that's what this is your owner's salary. So you have your expenses, and then your gross profit based on that, and then your owner's salary of what you paid yourself, and then the final net profit after all the things are taken out is there, and then your profit percentage. And then you want these profit first transactions is how much are you going to put into your tax account to account for taxes. So you like always say it on top of taxes and have the money to pay your taxes. And then how much of the profit are you going to take out of the business and put into a separate account to do a profit distribution for. So here is examples of 15% of your net profit is going to go to taxes and to the tax account, and then 50% of your profit is going to go to the profit account. So then just this is automatically going to calculate it for you based on what these two percentages are. And this is going to be an amazing tool that now at a glance you can look at how is your business doing financially month over the month. What's it compared to the previous months? And then you can even summarize it down here and have the quarter summaries of the information above. So this is a great tool. And again, just go under File and make a copy, and you can save it to your own Google Drive. All right, so what's really important at this point in time is this should not really highly encourage you to not make this another webinar that you attend like, oh, this is great information, this would be a good idea to do, but then you never do it. This really needs to be one of those things that you leave here and immediately take action on. So that means pulling out your calendar right now before you end this video. Look at your calendar and find a 3 to 4 hour block of time that you schedule in to do your 90-day plan as soon as humanly possible. Because guarantee you, if you incorporate this into your business, especially if you are in that second group of the business opportunity, then you will have a profound difference at where your business is 90 days from now following this thing. Guaranteed, it will be profound if you start following this method of the quarterly strategy session, and then the weekly leadership check-in, and then the monthly review. So cannot encourage you enough to do that. So the action to take right now is actually schedule it, and then would love to hear the impact that it had. Share it back, report it back to me, send me a message or send me an email. I would love to hear. So then also, there might be some people that want help in doing this. And this is for those that already have a business up and running, you're making money, it's growing, and you really see the impact that this would make, and you want to really move forward powerfully by having me facilitate your first quarterly strategy, or the first one or the next one that you're going to do right now, following this model. And if that's you, this is a part of the business that I love doing. I love working one-on-one with highly energetic, future-focused entrepreneurs to really up-level the strategic thinking in their business to really make a difference in what they can accomplish. So this is one of those things that I love doing it for our company, and I love doing it for my six-figure clients, licensing clients that we do this together. So I have 2 open spots right now available to do it for 2 people that are not actual clients of mine. And the requirements is you need to have clients, you need to make a consistent income in this business, and you really need to be serious about growth and really thinking strategically about your business and not business opportunity thinking about your business, because that is what we're absolutely going to do. Like, one of my unique abilities is I am really good at pulling out the best of other people, either as their coach or their mentor, or in this case, as the facilitator of your strategy session. So what we're going to see is we're going to do some pre-session planning, so you're prepped and ready. Both you and me are ready to hit the ground running when we start that session. And then it's going to be 4 hours blocked out to do the entire quarterly planning session, everything that we walk through, that I will facilitate for you. So I'm going to know the right questions to ask, the right areas to look at. I'm really going to ask you the tough questions and look in the areas that you may not know to look in. I'm really going to make sure that you leave that with the best outcome possible based on my own experience and everything that you're sharing. And then after that, to make sure that you're getting the most out of that plan you put in place, we're going to do 2 check-ins, 30 days out and 60 days out, to see how you're going with the plan that you put in place, to make sure that you're on track, or if you get off track, how you can get back on track. So normally this would be a $2,500 service if you'd hire me to do this, but because you're a LIMA member, I want to give you an awesome deal. So actually over $1,000 off is just $1,450 if you're one of these 2 spots I have right now. And if you want to really step it up, you can book the next 2 sessions. So it'll be everything above for 1 quarterly session, and then the check-ins, and then we're going to do your second session right after that, which to really up your game and make sure by that time you'll be much further ahead than you were before. So if this interests you, just send me an email at kevinnitro@gmail.com, and we can see if this is a right fit for you and what times would work. So hope you got a lot out of this. This is one of those things I think is absolutely 100% critical that you do in your business. Is you need to be doing quarterly strategic planning. Map out what you want to accomplish over the next 90 days in your business, and then go on that sprint, and then step back and map out the next 90 days. And then pull that back into your weekly leadership session that you do with yourself. So each week you're strategically looking at your business, and then that monthly financial check-in of your business as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed creating it for you, and can't wait to see the difference that it makes for you.